Right, so I want you to, I'm a beginner. I've had one lesson before,
Yeah.
which was last week, which was a lesson on controls. My instructor today, who's gone off playing golf, he's got the same car as you, so I am familiar with the layout of the car.
Okay.
He said he was going to explain the use of mirrors, which I didn't quite understand last week,
Yeah.
and he was going to instruct me on how to move off and stop.
Okay.
So my name's Tony. So, what level am I?
So you're a beginner. You've had one lesson,
Yeah.
and we're going to go through the use of mirrors and moving off and stopping.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Morning, Tony.
Morning.
My name's
How are you?
Andy. Pleased to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for filling in for my instructor.
Oh, no problem. No, I think he's up at Lytham St Anne's this morning watching the
Yeah,
golf,
yeah.
isn't he? So
Yeah, it's got a nice day for it.
good luck to him. Now, I understand you've had one lesson last week.
Yeah.
And what did Bob cover last week with you?
We went through the cockpit drill.
Okay.
And he explained all about the controls.
Yeah. So he went through the hand controls and the foot controls as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I didn't get to drive the car or anything, but because we run out of time. But
Yeah.
I went through all the controls.
So you did what we call the cockpit drill.
Yeah, and I did just get to start the engine,
Okay.
but then we run out of time. I had to get
Yeah.
back to work.
Okay. Fine. No problem. Okay. Well, I had a quick chat with Bob before he left to go up north,
All right.
and he briefed me on where we were with everything. So the object of today's lesson is that we're going to go recap on your cockpit drill. We're going to find a slightly quieter road, a safe and convenient place to stop on the left-hand side. We're then going to swap seats.
Yep.
And we're going to again run through your cockpit drill, and then we're going to teach you how to safely and smoothly move off using your mirrors. We won't come out of first gear, but we'll drive a little bit down the road, and then we're going to move to the left and park safely in a safe and convenient place.
All right.
And we'll, as we go along, I'll teach you how to do that as well.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions so far?
No. Yeah, I think I can. I've been through the cockpit drill in my own mind, so
Yeah.
I think I'm probably okay with that.
Okay.
He said it was check the handbrakes on and do this D treble SN. So I wrote all that down and I've been studying that during the week, so I can probably
Brilliant.
remember the cockpit drill.
Fantastic. Okay, well, just make sure you're comfortable with that
Yeah.
when we swap over. There's a couple of routines which we're going to use today. The first one is called POM. P-O-M. Did Bob mention that at all last week?
No.
Okay. What POM is it stands for prepare, observe, and move. So again, when we get to the training area, I'll run through that with you. There's also another routine which we're going to go through, which is called MSM, and that stands for mirror, signals, manoeuvre.
All right.
Okay. And again, between now and the time we get to the training area, I'm just going to talk you through use of mirrors, and we'll go through that again in more detail when we swap over and we get out onto the road as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Tony, I'm going to just run through my cockpit drill. I did drive here this morning, so I know the car's pretty well set up.
All right, yeah.
So I'm just going to double check that. What I'd like you to do as well is, if I can ask you to put your seatbelt on for me.
Yeah. I've got to make sure I don't twist it.
That's it, perfect. What's the reason why it needs to be flat against your body there?
Oh, Bob said if it was twisted, it would probably burn into me.
That's it.
So he said run my thumb along the top and bottom.
Perfect.
It's all straight.
Excellent, and just give it a little wiggle for me in the socket, just make sure it's nice
Yeah.
and tight in there. And the other thing we just need to check is your head restraint. And
Oh yeah, I've got to put my
that's it, so you're happy with that?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to run through my cockpit drill as well.
Oh, and he did tell me that he'd give me a slap if I touch him dual controls.
Yeah, absolutely right. What we say is we'll only ever tell you that once when you're sat there, but don't touch them ever again. Just pretend they're not there. So keep your knees up and Get your hands there. Okay, so
Right, so you go straight on this, otherwise directed.
okay,
So don't worry, I'll give you directions to.
no problem. Okay, so I've done my cockpit drill. So the first thing I'm going to do is the POM, is position. Sorry, put me off there. So the POM routine. So it's position, observe, and then move off. Sorry, prepare, observe, move off.
All right.
So I've done my cockpit drill, so I'm going to prepare the car to move off now. So did Bob go through the palming technique on the
He
gear
did,
stick
yeah,
last week?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to use exactly that.
Right.
So I'm going to prepare the car to move off. And then I'm going to observe all the way around, just to make sure there's no oncoming traffic, there's no traffic behind me, and I'm checking for pedestrians as well, just making sure this lady here isn't looking to cross the road. And she's going to pop past there. Can you just do one thing for me, Tony, as we move off? Can you just adjust your you've got your mirrors up there.
Yeah.
Just adjust them so you can see out the back window.
I think I prefer to watch you actually.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine. But what I'd like you to do is, I also want you to have a look behind as well, because as part of the mirror signal manoeuvre routine, we need to be regularly checking our mirrors.
All right.
And it's a good idea if you just want to adjust those, just so you can see.
And we're going to turn left, please.
Okay. So Tony, at the end of the road here, we're going to turn left. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check my internal mirror here, and I'm going to check my left door mirror.
Is it important to check them? How to check both of them then?
We always use the mirrors in pairs.
Right.
Now, did Bob go through the difference between the mirrors? Your internal mirror's got the flat glass.
Oh, he said that was flat glass. Yeah, true picture, wasn't it?
Gives you a true picture of what's
Yeah.
going on behind, of distance and speed of vehicles behind. And then what sort of glass have we got in the door mirrors here?
Oh, kind of a curvy glass, isn't it?
Yeah, if you can imagine the back of a spoon, but it gives us a much wider angle of vision. So we always use at least two mirrors in conjunction with each other. And the first one, we always need a true picture of what's going on behind us.
And we're
the
going to
first
turn
mirror.
left, please.
And we're going to take the next turning on the left. So I'm going to check my internal mirror to give us a true picture of what's going on. And I'm going to check my left door mirror. Why do you think I might need to check my left door mirror?
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
What we're basically looking for is, now I've got some parked cars here, I'll come back to that in a minute, so I'm going to check my internal mirror again, because we're going to move out to the right here, so I'm also going to check my right door mirror as well. And what I'm checking for with these door mirrors, as I move out to the right, I'm checking for any road users that are going to come past me, potentially. And what do you think if we have got someone wanting to pass us, what do you think the safest thing would be to do?
No, just keep going and hopefully they've got enough speed to get past me, innit? They shouldn't overtake me along here, should they?
The best thing to do really is just let them pass. It's a safer thing to do.
Why is it safer then?
Well, what we've got is we don't want to cause a potential accident, so we'll probably just hold back, just let them past, and let them get on with their day. To be quite honest, we don't want to get involved in in what's going on in their lives, so we'll just hold back on that. But we can go through that a little bit later on. So I've got another parked car on my left-hand side here, so I'm going to check my internal mirror, and I'm going to check my right-hand door mirror here. And what am I checking for on my right-hand?
Oh, those people overtaking, isn't it?
That's it.
And we're going to turn left at the roundabout.
So we're going to turn left at the roundabout here, Tony. So I'm going to check my internal mirror again, but I'm going to check my left-hand door mirror. Now I said we'd come back to that on the next left turn. So why do you think it's important to check the left-hand door mirror when we're turning left?
Oh, I'm not too sure, Andy.
Okay, well let's imagine we've got a cyclist coming up on that side of the car there, and you hadn't checked your mirror. and your cyclist comes up alongside you and you're going to turn left, what do you think potentially could happen?
Oh, well, I'd probably hit him, wouldn't I?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it'd be okay to put the signal on to let the cyclists know that they shouldn't come down the inside of me.
It's always better if you hang fire on your signal, again, because
And we're going to turn left at the crossroads.
so we've got crossroads here. We're going to turn left up here, Tony. I'll come back to that in a second. So I'm going to check my internal mirror, and I'm going to check my left door mirror for those cyclists. Now we're in a new road here. We've got some parked cars here, so we're going to check our internal mirror and our right-hand door mirror again. And because we're in a new road as well, we're also going to just check.
Turn left.
We're going to check our internal mirror. We're going to take the next turning on the left. So which mirrors do you think I'm going to check when I'm turning left now?
Oh, probably the interior one and the left one, isn't it?
Absolutely right.
And if we just find a safe and convenient stopping place, I'll put it.
Okay. So I'm going to find a safe and convenient place to stop on the left-hand side here.
If you can avoid going too far down the road, yeah.
Okay, we'll do. I'm going to consider using a signal here because if you check in your mirror, I've got a car behind me. So I'm just going to flick my signal on there and we can come to a nice smooth stop. Like so. Now I'm going to secure the car using the handbrake and then put the gears into neutral.
Right.
Did Bob go through the how you check if the car's in neutral?
Oh yeah, he said I'll have all that kind of free play.
That's it. That's it. Okay, I'll pop the engine off just for a second. If we look up and down the road here, remember me saying before we set off, we need to find a safe and convenient place to park the car. What have we got up and down the road here? Where would it not be safe, do you think, to park?
Oh, opposite that junction.
Indeed, and what's the consequence? If you parked opposite that junction there, what do you think the consequences would be if you've got a car pulling out there?
I suppose it'd make it more difficult for them to get around me, wouldn't it?
Yeah, very much so, yeah. So we're causing an obstruction,
Yeah.
so potential hazard. And what else have we got down the road here at various intervals?
Oh, drop curbs.
Yeah, so that suggests there's probably driveways. You see we've got a couple of
Oh, yeah,
driveways here. And also you've got these parked cars in the driveway,
Yeah.
so again you could have cars reversing out of the driveway, so it's courteous not to park over somebody's driveway.
All right.
So a good safe place to park is pretty much where we are now, in between the driveway. You're absolutely right in what you say about not parking near the junctions and turnings there.
All right.
So we don't want to cause an obstruction. And just give some consideration, we've got a couple of lamp posts down there on the left hand side as well. So you don't want to be opening your door and banging the door into a lamp post either.
okay.
So
No.
got a nice clear space here. Okay, so just to recap on what we did there. So whenever we turn right or move out to the right and before we signal, we're going to use the MSM routine. So that's mirror, signal and manoeuvre. And which mirrors do we check if we're turning right or moving out to the right?
Oh, you said that middle one first, didn't it?
Middle one first. And what's the reason we do that?
Oh, it's the flat glass one, isn't it?
Okay.
True picture.
And what's the reason we check our right hand door mirror?
Oh, for them people overtaking, yeah?
Absolutely right. Okay. And then if we're turning left or moving to the left, which mirrors do we need to use in pairs again?
I think it's always the middle one first, isn't it?
Always the middle one first. There we go.
Yeah.
We've got someone turning out of the driveway there. So if we'd have parked over that driveway, what do you think the consequence would be of that?
He'd
This guy.
probably be swearing at you, wouldn't he?
Be a little bit teed off, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He also came quite close to the road there, so it could have damaged our vehicle as well.
Oh,
So
right, yeah.
just to hold back on this
Yeah.
this side here. So turning left, moving to the left, we're going to use which mirror first?
Oh, interior one and the left one.
And the left one. And what's the reason that we're using the left-hand mirror?
Oh, them bicycles, isn't it?
Absolutely. Okay. Every time we turn into our new road, also we're going to check around, see what's going on in the road. So we're going to check our internal mirror, and we're going to check our two door mirrors. So we need a good picture of what's going on in the new road as well,
Oh, okay.
ahead and behind. Okay. So you happy with that? Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap seats now.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to run through your cockpit drill, and then we're going to practice your gas and clutch control. and we're going to, by the end of the lesson, like I said, we're going to be able to move off. We won't come out of first gear today. We'll move off, we'll drive down the road, and then we'll pull over to the left and stop in a safe and convenient position.
Okay, right.
Okay. So if you'd like to take your seatbelt off, Tony,
Oh, yeah.
and then
I've got to make sure I feed it back, haven't I?
absolutely right. What's the consequence if you just let it go just there? What's the consequences potentially of just letting it go and let it roll itself up?
Oh, I could break the window, couldn't I?
You can smack yourself in the face as well,
Yeah.
so that's not really a good end to the day, is it? Okay, and just before you open your door, what are you going to check before you,
I've
you
got to
open
check
your
the
door?
mirror and check all around me, isn't I?
That's it, and what are you checking for?
That there's no pedestrians or bikes going past me, innit?
Okay, so we're going to have a check front and rear before you open the door,
Yeah.
and I'll meet you at the rear of the vehicle.
Alright. I'll leave the door open.
Pop the door shut for me, please, Tony.
Right, we'll just do a little. I'll just come out a roll a minute, and we'll just
Okay.
we'll just do a little bit of chat about the drive here.
Okay.
Obviously, it's really important that you're demonstrating to me exactly what I should be doing.
Yeah.
You were checking one mirror, sticking the indicator on,
Yeah.
and then checking the other mirror.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, that's giving me bad habits for a start.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's not going to help my understanding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at one stage, you told me I should check the interior mirror,
Yeah.
and then the indicator come on. Then you told me I should check the left
Oh,
hand mirror.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
okay. Mistimed that.
you know today I'm learning the mirror signal maneuver routine.
Yeah.
It's really important that you're demonstrating that properly. Yeah.
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 Okay.
When we came into the road, I told you this is a suitable road, but you've actually come down nearly halfway down the road, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which means I'm going to have to come out a roll and turn it around and
Oh, okay.
give us a longer run. Yeah.
All right.
We're probably only going to get maybe one in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you.
So have a look at the road,
Yeah.
and it was quite safe to stop way back there. Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
But they're only minor things. You'll soon learn by them. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah.
Okay. So if you go from there.
Okay. Right, Tony. So, just to recap on that, what's the reason why we need to shut the door as we exit the car and walk round?
Oh, on my lesson last week, I left it open and somebody bumped into it.
Yeah. So you've got a hazard. I mean, we've got a little bit of grass here, which gives us a little bit of leeway, but usually it goes straight onto the curb, and it could be a hazard to a pedestrian, couldn't it?
Yeah, and just coming out a roll, I would have just controlled that a little bit better. It's only my second time.
Yeah.
It's only my second lesson,
Okay.
and as you asked me, where do I check before I open the door?
Yeah.
I would cover my own back by saying, and don't forget when you exit the vehicle, can you close the door after you, please? Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. No problem.
Right. So we go from there.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do now, Tony, is if you can run through your cockpit drill,
All right. Yeah.
and can you just remind me what the routine is that you learnt last week with Bob?
Oh, he said check this handbrakes up because we're moving around in the vehicle,
Yeah.
and then I have to do this D, 3 S's and an M. Yeah.
That's it.
Um,
That's it. And what's the so what's your D stand for?
Oh, the D is for the door. Is your door closed properly?
Okay. You tell me. Is my door closed properly? What's the little trick that we know? There's a couple of little things we can tell in the car that the door's shut
Oh yeah,
properly.
the interior light's gone out, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you just give it a rattle for me, because I haven't set the mirrors up yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems all right.
Good stuff.
S, for seat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the bottom of the seat.
That's it. So tell me how you're adjusting the seat then.
So I've got a slight bend to my knee, innit?
That's it. And when your knee comes up, you're not banging it on
Yeah.
the steering there.
S, seatbelt, isn't it?
Stop you there, Tony. Just pop your seatbelt back for me.
Right.
And what about your
Oh yeah, yeah, the
back
rake
of
of the
your-
seat. Yeah,
back of your chair there?
yeah.
And how are you setting that up?
So I'm not lying back like my mates do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that feels all right. And the steering wheel, I've got a slight bend in my arm.
That's it.
and
Absolutely
I can
spot
see
on.
the dials. Yeah.
Well done. Brilliant.
Then my seatbelt, isn't it?
Okay. Stop you there, Tony. Pop your seatbelt back for me. What's the last thing you need to adjust on your seat?
Oh, that head restraint.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels okay.
What's the importance of the correct adjustment of your head restraint there?
Oh, so my head doesn't go over it or underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said that'd be quite painful.
Yeah, so if it wasn't adjusted
Yeah.
and we did have a collision, what do you
Yeah.
think the consequence of that be if it wasn't adjusted properly?
I'd probably be dead.
Yeah, you'd certainly have a fairly chunky injury, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, carry on.
So I'll put the seatbelt on there. Just gotta make sure it's not twisted. Plug in and give it a wiggle.
Great stuff. Well done. Excellent.
And then, mirrors, isn't it?
So tell me what you're doing with the internal mirror here.
I'm using this outer edge here.
Yeah.
He said last week to treat this outer edge like a picture frame
That's it.
and treat the back window like the picture.
Yeah.
So I'm picking up, I can see the top and bottom of the back window.
Yeah.
I can see a bit of my head restraint.
Okay.
And I can see the corner of your window. So I can see as much of the back window as I'm going to.
That's it.
And then I've got to adjust these door mirrors.
And again, tell me how you're doing that.
I can see the door handles of the car.
Yeah.
And the road comes in roughly about halfway.
Okay.
I can see a little bit of sky. And the same in that one.
Perfect.
And I can now see your doors closed.
That's it. So how can you see my doors closed with the mirror in the right position now?
Oh, because I can see the door handles are lined up in the
Yeah.
with each other.
That's right. So that's your check. You've got your
Yeah.
lights, and when your mirrors are adjusted, as you rightly say, you've got a nice smooth line right the way down there. So we know our doors are secure. Okay. Also on this particular vehicle, there's also a warning light when ignition comes on as well.
Oh,
so
right.
just as a fail-safe on this particular car, but don't rely on it. Okay. Excellent. Well done. You've been well taught there, I think.
Thanks, Bob.
Good old Bob. Okay, I'm just going to put my seatbelt on. Before we run through the routine, what we're going to do today is I've just got a couple of visual aids for you to run through with you, just to help you
Ah, right, yeah, you used
understand.
one of them last week.
Okay, so I'm just going to get my book out here. Oop. He's probably put it in a different order to me. So yeah, there we go. There we go. So say the objects of today, Tony, is to use the POM routine and the MSM mirror signal manoeuvre routine as well to safely move off. We're going to find now this particular road, as you can see, it hasn't got a centre line running down it. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to imagine there's a centre line. So the objective of the exercise is we're parked over on the left-hand side at the moment,
Right.
and we're going to safely manoeuvre out into the centre of our lane. We won't come out of first gear, as I said to you before. We'll drive down the road a little bit, and then we're going to park again on the left-hand side in a safe and convenient place. Okay, as you very rightly said, you gave me some good examples of where we can and can't park down this road here.
All right.
Okay. So the first thing is to run through the POM routine.
All right.
POM, so prepare, observe and move, as it says there. So in preparing the car, we're preparing the car to move off. Now Bob went through the foot controls. Did he explain the use of your gas and your brake, where we brake and accelerate progressively?
Oh yeah, he showed me a £1 coin.
Yeah, so it's the thickness of a pound coin,
Yeah.
not the width of a pound coin, it's the thickness of a
Yeah,
pound coin.
yeah.
So just keep that in your head for
Yeah.
me. And we're also going to go through the use of your clutch and where the biting point is on your clutch. Now again, did he run through that with you and how the,
It's where the
clutch
two
works?
plates. Yeah.
Yeah, so can you explain to me where your biting point is.
Oh, he said his plate on the back of the engine is spinning,
Yeah,
and the one on the back of the, I think he said, call it a gearbox, is not spinning.
yeah.
It's where they just come together.
Just coming together, yeah? Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think he called it a biting driving point or something.
Biting point, yeah, or
Yeah.
driving point. That's right. So it's just when the clutch plates are just touching together. And what that'll do is that's not giving the engine full power. That gives us enough bite to actually move off safely without jerking forward. If we take the clutch up too high, what do you think the consequences might be if we're putting more power to the engine and we're moving off here? What do you think the consequences might be if we move off and jerk forward quite
I'm not
quickly?
too sure.
Well, as you can see, we just had this car pull back into the driveway here,
Yeah.
and if we move off really quickly and jerkily, we could cause a collision there, potentially anyway. So it's always best to, and I'll help you do it, we'll find that biting point, and that'll give us a nice smooth slow start off. Okay. So we're going to find biting point of the clutch, and then we're going to we're going to put our clutch down. We're going to select first gear using that palming method. Okay. So again, can you just show me how you check that we're in neutral at the moment, Tony?
No, he said just give it a shake.
Okay, so using that palming technique that he showed you. That's it. Well done. And did he show you how to put the car into first gear?
He did, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. That's great. So we're going to select first gear, and then we're going to use our gas and our clutch to find that biting point. So again, think of the thickness of that pound coin, and we're going to use our gas. We're going to increase the revs in the engine a little bit, just thickness of a pound coin, and then very slowly. If you look at my hand here, pretend this is your foot. Pretend this is the ball of your foot here. We're going to very, very slowly bring your clutch pedal up, literally that speed. So you're keeping the ball of your foot on the floor there. I'm just going to bring it up very, very slowly, and we're going to listen out for that biting point. The reason why I say I'm going to listen out to it is the engine note will actually drop slightly when you get to that biting point, when those clutch plates are starting to marry together.
Yeah.
Okay. Now sometimes you might pull your clutch up a little bit high, and you'll feel the back of the car go down. And it might creak as well. Now the reason why that is because we've got the car secure and we've got the handbrake on. The car's trying to push against the handbrake there, so we've got a little bit. That's always a sign we've got a little bit too much clutch. So if that happens, what I want you to do, again, just thinking of that thickness of a pound coin, is just push your foot down the clutch a little bit, just so we reach that first biting point. Does that make sense to you?
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go through it in a minute with once we're
Oh, it's just coming out of roll a minute.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to go into that now, which I don't think is probably a good idea to go through on the brief, because you're going to run through this during the moving off
Okay.
and stopping process anyway.
Yeah.
Give me a reason why it's important not to have the clutch too high.
Yeah.
What's going to happen if the clutch is too high? What's going to happen to the car when I let the handbrake down?
We got handbrake down.
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
shoot off.
Yeah, so it's important not to go past the biting point.
Yeah.
There's two reasons. If I don't get the biting point, and we're on a slight incline at the moment, the car's not going to go anywhere. If anything, it's going to go backwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I've got the clutch too high, and you say the back end goes down and the front comes up,
Yeah.
when I let that handbrake down, the car's probably going to go shooting down the road, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why. That's the bit I'm going to learn from, isn't it?
Yes.
If you just tell me the back end's going to go down and the front's going to come up,
Yeah.
I'm not really going to understand that.
Yeah.
And it's probably not going to stop me from getting the clutch too high, because I'm not going to be that worried about it, yeah?
Yeah.
Am I worried about the back end going down and the front coming up?
No.
Not
There's
the
no
slightest.
consequences.
But I am worried about shooting forward, especially with this bloke who's gone in and out of his house about 9 times now.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here, yeah?
Happy days.
So,
Okay.
just run through the basics of the brief and what we're going to do,
Yeah.
because all of this you're going to have to cover it on the move anyway, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Okay, Tony, so we're going to find our biting point. using the gas and bringing our foot up nice and slowly on the clutch there. And then we're going to hold that position there. Okay. And then we're going to, so that's the P routine done effectively. That's preparing your car to move off. The next thing we're going to do is observe.
All right.
Okay. So before we move off, where is it important to check, do you think?
I've never done this, so.
Okay. Well, we need to check all around the vehicle, don't we? All around the car. So we're going to check our mirrors. So we're
Yeah.
going to check our internal mirror. And what's the internal mirror give us behind?
True picture.
Okay. We're going to check our door mirrors. And we're also going to check, as well as ahead, we're also going to check our what we call our blind spot, and I'll explain that to you in a second, on this side of the car and the other side. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our head to look out of the rear window here, and the same on that side. What do you think we mean by blind spot? Have you come across that term before?
Yeah, you mentioned it last week. It's it's an area the mirrors isn't covering.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you look out that door mirror now, just tell me what you can see at the moment. Just sit in your normal driving position.
I can see that. I can see the road sign, the name of that road, the park.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if you just check and look behind you in the in what we call the blind spot. So look behind your door pillar, where the seat belt is. If you just look over your shoulder.
Behind the door pillar.
Yeah. What can you see there that you can't see in that door mirror?
Oh, I can see that house on the corner.
Yeah.
It's got its windows open.
That's it. So you couldn't see that with just that
No.
door mirror, could you?
No.
So that's what we call the blind spot. It's the area that we
okay.
can't see. So let's take the example there with that house. You can see we've got a driveway there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So again, we could have a vehicle pulling out of there that could come into this road. And then, we need to be aware that that's a potential hazard as we pull off.
Oh, right. They're coming the same direction as me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, right, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So, our observations are going to be all the way around the car. We're going to check our mirrors. We're going to check our blind spot. And we're also checking this side as well, don't forget. Why do you think we'd need to check this side as well?
There's driveways there, isn't there?
Yeah, so what's again, what would the consequences be if you didn't check that?
Well, I suppose if it's like this guy here, if they're going in and out of the drive all day like he was,
Yeah.
I mean, he's gone in and out 4 or 5 times now, hasn't he?
Yes, yeah. But we're also checking for pedestrians as well, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
So they may want to cross the road.
Yeah.
So we need to be aware of pedestrians as well as these driveways, as you rightly say,
Oh, right.
behind us here. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to consider a signal. Now again, did Bob go through anything with regards to signals last week?
No, just how to turn them on and off.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we've got a reasonably quiet road here at the moment. So as we pull off, do you think we would need a signal?
No, if somebody come up behind me, I'd signal, wouldn't I?
Yeah, you would do. So that's why we say you consider a signal. So if you have got another...
Just coming out a roll. If somebody's coming up behind me, would I stick a signal?
No, you wouldn't, no, because they'd be... No, you let them pass first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when would I need a signal then?
So you need to signal... so you need to consider a signal. So if you've got, let's say for example, you've got a car coming towards you here, it's worth considering a signal there. But if you've got a car coming behind you, it's best just to not signal, just let him past, and then we can safely pull out into the road there.
So I got that blue car coming down towards me at the moment now, yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull out. I'm not going in on this side of the road, am I? So how's my signal going to help him?
It's just letting him know your intention, because this guy